evening, viewers, and welcome to another edition of Coca-Cola Sports Scene. Thank you for your company. I'm Sophie Aristo, standing in for your regular host, and we had a jam-packed weekend. We had awesome sporting action, and we'll be bringing you all of that. But who could go past the 2013 SP Sports Awards? It was awesome. Nigel Vangana, our guest speaker for the evening. We also had the major semi-finals of the National Soccer League, both the men and the women's in Lae and Port Moresby. And we also had the grand final of the Port Moresby Men's Softball League. How good was that? PNG Power defeating United Brothers 7 points to 2. It was awesome. The crowd was packed. It was held on a Saturday instead of a Sunday this weekend. And for those of you who thought it was going to be held on a Sunday, we apologize for that, but the action was great at the Bissini softball grounds. PNG Power, they electrocuted a very young United Brothers outfit. 7 points to 2. It was a one-sided affair, I'd say, but that was in the A grade. So PNG Power, one more time, reigning, pushing on with the supremacy in the Port Moresby Men's Softball League, and they'll be hoping to also claim club champs in the national titles later in the year. In the B grade as well, Defense 14 defeated Brown Eagles 14 points to 12. And Brown Eagles, obviously a very long time existing club in the Port Moresby Men's Soccer League, softball competition, and they've done well for themselves. They have a wonderful pack of young players coming through the ranks, so that'll be a team to watch out for next season. So thumbs up to the Port Moresby Men's Softball League for staging such a wonderful season of softball and staging their grand final successfully on Saturday. Also on to the National Soccer League. Hekari, reigning champs, once again they will make the 8th grand final appearance. How good is that? Hekari United, our very own O-League Championships reps, and they got away with a win. Hekari 3 defeated Gigira Laitapo Morobe FC. The boys from Lae, they were hoping to push past the champions, but as we know, Hekari sit at the top there with a wealth of experience. So yeah, 3-0 they defeated Gigira Laitapo. They will now go into the grand final of the National Soccer League for the 8th time this year. In the women's, Northern Crusaders 2 defeated KVN Hotel Yamoros. That was in the women's encounter here held in Port Moresby as well. Northern Crusaders had the likes of former PNG women's soccer team captain Miriam Lenta. She's a powerhouse on her own, that one. So they defeated Yamoros 2 points to 1. Over in Lae, Panamax Poro FC in the Women's National Soccer League defeated Power 4 goals to 1. And FC Pom, a new team in the National Soccer League this season, 2013 season, they will go on to meet Hekari United after they defeated a very young Vesta PNG outfit. So congratulations to Reginald Davani and all the boys there. You'll be making your first grand final appearance against Hekari, and that'll definitely be a grand final to watch. Moving on to the Capital Rugby Union, nothing ever stops Capital Rugby Union from going on. The Bava Monia Park was packed as usual with men and women's matches. Juggernauts took on Defense over the weekend, while I believe some of the power pack from Rugby Union were over in Medang for a road show. So that's Kimli Rapila from the PNG Palais team. They were all there in Medang doing a good job spreading Rugby Union to the youths and the younger generation coming up. So good on you. Moving on to the SP Sports Awards, I'll just make a brief mention. However, we'll say congratulations to the Sportsman of the Year, Asadola Vala from Cricket PNG. He's done an outstanding job with Cricket PNG for that matter. He's also played overseas, and he will be part of the PNG Hebo Barramundis, who will be playing in the South Australian Cricket Association League. So congratulations, Asadola. Also to undisputed sprint queen Toya Whistle, who could go past her. Congratulations, Toya, and she was the Sportswoman of the Year. And don't you go away, because we will have more of that SP Sports Award highlights later on in the program, but we'll move on to some Digicel Cup results. The ISA pairs hitting great form. Unfortunately, we're just not able to do the same against the Port Moresby Stop and Shop Vipers. They went down. I wouldn't say they put up a fight. It was just not their day yesterday at the Lloyd Robson Oval. 28 points to 4, 18 points to 0 at halftime to the Vipers. And Larsen Marabe was named player of the match. Good on you, Larsen. Keep it up. And it's a star-studded Vipers team, but I'm sure the ISA players could have done better than that. But anyways, better luck next time. They take on the Snacks Tigers, so that'll be a game to watch next week in the Digicel Cup competition. And some Super 15 results, if we just take a look at that very quickly. Rebels defeated Waratahs 24 points to 22. Stormers beat the Reds 20 points to 15. So Will Genia and his boys will have to push on further. The Chiefs, they currently sit on first place on the Super 15's ladder. They maintain the top spot. They defeated Crusaders 28 points to 19. And finally, the Blues went down to Brumbies 13 points to 20. And that's about all the sports brief we have for you this evening. Don't go away. We have a jam-packed show. We're only beginning. And when we come back, we'll have more of the 2013 SP Sports Awards right here on Coca-Cola Sports Scene. Stay with us. Welcome back, viewers, and you're watching Coca-Cola Sports. And if you just joined us, thank you for your company. And we're taking a look at the 2013 SP Sports Awards. How good was that over the weekend? It's a prestigious event and an awards night where we recognize our sportsmen and women in Papua New Guinea, not only at the elite level, but also at the community level, grassroots level, and also distinguished services to sports and initiatives that come a long way, community initiatives, that is. And of course, our number one brewer, the number one brewer in the South Pacific, SP Brewery, the major sponsors, and that this was their 21st year. Congratulations, and thank you once again to SP Brewery for bringing us the prestigious event annually. They never fail to do so, and wonderful job done by them. And here we take a look at a quick word from the General Manager of SP Brewery, Mr. Stan Joyce.
Tonight, as you heard, is the 21st SP Sports Awards. It's 21 years of an unbroken record. It started just after the last Pacific Games here in Port Moresby. So it's 21 years. I think that in itself is a special applause for something that's been able to go for that long in this country. Tonight we will share 38,500 kina amongst the elite athletes and leading sporting personalities of Papua New Guinea to reward them for their hard work, their dedication and their successes. So a big round of applause, please. SP Brewery as a company continues to go for gold. We always like to say at SP Brewery that we do what we can to beat our own personal best. Our employees are challenged never just to settle for mediocrity, but to go the extra step in quality and in delivery of customer service. We are doing that through the investment of over 250 million kina in expanding our capacities and ensuring that we bring you the same quality products that you've enjoyed for many years. I think it is appropriate here tonight that I also announce that the South Pacific Brewery will be a major sponsor of the Pacific Games. I got that right, Tamsin. Will be a major sponsor of the Pacific Games in 2015 through the Gold for Gold incentive.
And that was Mr. Stan Joyce, General Manager of SP Brewery. He's done a wonderful job. He was there in all good spirits, him and his staff. They put up a great show. The place was wonderfully decorated and it was awesome. It just set the pace for a great night, great crowd and awesome people around there. So we did get to see a lot of our local heroes. Cricket PNG was there in full force, I reckon, and of course they deserve to be there. They took out main awards in Asadola Vala. Well, top batsman for PNG, and he's done well for himself. And unfortunately, the guest speaker for that evening, for the evening on the SP Sports Awards night, was Nigel Vangana, former professional rugby player, and he was there to share give his views and also share his experiences about going from, they come from an indigenous background, over to professional rugby league, and he played for the Auckland Warriors, one of the was the first New Zealand rugby league club to take part in the NRL. So it was kind of relevant to what we're going through at the moment with the PNG NRL bid. So he did shed some light on that and playing for the Auckland Warriors. So hopefully we can get that bid going and be like the Auckland Warriors one day here in PNG. But Nigel Vangana did say share some valuable sentiments on that night, and we'll just have a quick listen to what he said on that night.
It was, I guess, I started playing league. It was probably my mum that decided that. One time when I was about 7 years old, she was chasing me around the house, so I ran out the backyard. And out the backyard, we sort of backed onto a field. So I thought I'll stay down here till mum cools down a bit. And some of my friends were down there training, playing around. So I said, I'll jump in with these guys for a while. And they happened to be training with a local rugby league team. So off the back of that, I sort of jumped in with them and been on this journey ever since. started training. I played in. I played. This was a team in New Zealand called Richmond Bulldogs, actually. You know. So I grew up in Auckland. My parents moved over from Samoa. The Kiwis down there, and I played for this team called Richmond. And I was telling some of the athletes today how I got started in the league. I played for the top team, the senior team, when I was 17 or 18. And where I grew up at the time in Greyland, there wasn't too many white people around. Right, so after a game, the coach came in and he said, "There's this white guy outside that wants to talk to you." Back in those days, the only white guys that came down was a lawyer or a police officer. So I said to coach, "Go outside and tell him he's got the wrong guy." You know? So he went outside, he came back in and he said, "No, he's an Aussie guy. He's starting a rugby league team. He wants you to come and play." So I went outside. There was a guy named John Money. For those of you who don't know, John Money was the first Warriors coach. And he said, "Listen, we've been accepted into the Australian competition. We're going to start up in a couple of years. We're trying to get a lot of young guys, trying to groom them, prepare them. So in a couple of years, they'll be ready to play."
How old were you at this time?
I was 18. So he sort of gave me the rundown on the Dreams and the Premiership and the NRL and everything. And he said, "Have you got any questions?" And I said, "Do I get a tracksuit?" And he said, "Yeah, we'll give you a tracksuit." And I said, "All right, I'm in." So I guess off the back of that, I've been on the journey and I'm still on the journey ever since. And I guess that's how I sort of worked my way into the professional ranks.
All right, and then obviously, starting off with the Warriors, early stages of your career, what was that like?
It was great. It was pretty special. The Warriors were the first professional team in New Zealand. So I guess a bit like the bid that they're trying to put in now to go to the NRL. If you make it, you'll be the first professional team in a professional competition in the country. So we were like that, and I guess off the back of that, the excitement that was generated right throughout New Zealand, the whole of New Zealand went crazy. So it was pretty. Looking back now, it was a weird time. Like everywhere we go to restaurants for dinner, they wouldn't let us pay. They had posters of us all over the country. And they wouldn't let us pay. They wouldn't let us pay for anything. They just really loved the fact that we were representing New Zealand. So it was a special time. And off the back of that, moved on throughout the ranks, I guess.
After the Warriors, you had a stint in England. Tell us a bit about that.
So I signed up for the Warriors for 2 years, and at the end of that, an opportunity came up for me to go to England. I was 21 at the time, and I thought this might be a good time to get away from mum for a little while. So I took a 2-year contract. So I took a 2-year contract over to. I went and played for a team in England called Warrington, and loved it. It was a great experience. I was a young guy. I was sort of on the other side of the world. But it was a challenge, and something that I thought, listen, I'll take the opportunity. It might not come around again. So I remember before I left, my grandmother was living in Brisbane at the time, and I said, I want to go to Brisbane and say goodbye to Mama. We used to call her Mama. I'll go say goodbye to Mama just in case she's not around. I reckon I'm going to be over there for maybe 10, 15 years. I lasted 1 year and ended up coming back. But that's because the Warriors got a new coach and they wanted me to come back, so they brought me back to the NRL. It was special, and I spoke to some of the athletes today, and one thing I said to them was that you got to live for the moment. You got to make the most of the opportunity because it'll be over in a flash. I ended up playing 13 years, and it just went like that. And for me, all I wanted was a tracksuit. All I wanted was a tracksuit, and off the back of that, it was a bonus. So I just rode the wave. Like I said, some of the athletes again this morning, it's brought me here. And for me, rugby league has given me the opportunity to be able to help so many people, just by doing something that I love and giving back to our people of the Pacific. So it was.
Nigel Vagana, and who would have thought, the man who always had something to, a little performance afterwards every time he put a try for the Bulldogs and the South Sydney Rabbitohs, Auckland Warriors. Great rugby league player, great performer, great entertainer, and that was Nigel Vagana. He did put on some great dancing with the Samoan group that was performing on the night, so hopefully we can take a look at that before we go to the break. But don't go away, we'll have more of your winners from the 2013 SP Sports Awards when we return right here on Coca-Cola Sports Scene. Thank you for staying with us and welcome back to Coca-Cola Sports Scene. And we're taking a look, we're talking about the 2013 SB Sports Awards, how good it was and how all our sporting talent locally and internationally got recognized for their efforts on and off the field as well. We had some very good awards that went to, one in particular was the Community Initiative Award, which went to Major Sarah Kala and his family for initiating the 3-on-3 basketball little tournament that went on at Gaire, and that's to keep youths out of trouble and away from alcohol and such activities as those. So congratulations to Major Sarah Kala. He took out the Community Initiative Award for his 3-on-3 basketball from Gaire. Also, the Team of the Year. Unfortunately, the mighty Egma Grabal Gurus missed out this year. The award went to the PNG Palais, the PNG Rugby Union women's team, and they've done well in recent times. Just this year, they went on to Sydney to take out a title there, to beat all the New South Wales States team to take out the major titles. So congratulations to the PNG Palais and coach John Larry and their ever faithful trainer Cecil Devani, who never lets the women down. So he's done a great job. So congratulations to the team. Also, Junior Male Athlete of the Year went to none other than our very ever reliable weightlifter, Fred Oala. Freddie started weightlifting when he was only 15. He's probably he's 3 years on and he's just gone on to be a real power pack. So hopefully he can follow in the footsteps of Stephen Curry, and President of the PNG Weightlifting, Sir John Dawanikura, would be very pleased with that award. So congratulations, Fred, on being the Junior Male Athlete of the Year. Junior Female Athlete of the Year went to Cecilia Kuman. Now, Cecilia Kuman was a product from the PNG Games. She blazed the tracks in the grass tracks, that is, in East New Britain Province at the 2015 game. Sorry, I beg your pardon, at the 2012 PNG Games. And she did well to earn herself the Junior Female Athlete of the Year. She's only 16, so there's a lot more work in her, and she'll go on, no doubt about that. So that was the Junior Female Athlete of the Year. We also had Club of the Year. It went to Trukai Harlequins, the reigning champions of the Port Moresby Rugby Football Union at this point in time. Now they've merged to make up the Capital Rugby Union. So Harlequins will be looking to push further to take up the title this year in the Capital Rugby Union. So congratulations to Billy Rapila and his team there. That was that. And also, I think it was the Distinguished Services to Sports went to Api Leka of Cricket PNG. And he had his proud kids there. They're all big kids now, but definitely you're never too old to be your baby or your mommy or your daddy's baby. And they were all there, proud to receive that award. Two of his sons and his daughter were there on the night to receive that award. Distinguished Services to Sports. So there was Apileka, who I think he was up against Sophie Tuna of PNG Paralympics, who's done wonders in the Paralympic and at the Sports Foundation level as well. So those were a couple of the winners that we had over the weekend, and it was great to see everyone there in good spirits. Also, congratulations to Carl Murray of PNG Karate. He took out that award as well, and he's done an excellent job for PNG Karate. He's actually taken them out from what they used to be, just a little sport, and they've grown bigger now, and they've featured internationally as well. So congratulations to Carl Murray and PNG Karate for that matter. And with that, we'll also, it wouldn't be justice if we didn't have a quick word to the 2013 SP Sportsman of the Year, Asadola Vala himself.
I want to thank Cricket PNG, all the sponsors, the major sponsors, the actual sponsors, the support of the cricket board, from the chairman down to the staffs. I want to thank my teammates from Ebo Baramanis, all the clubs I play with. Most of all, my mom and dad, my brothers and sisters, my family who's always been there for me. Thank you.
And with that, we go to a quick break, and when we come back, it's about that time where we wrap up the show for this evening. And welcome back, viewers. Thank you for your company. If you've stuck with us right throughout the program, you're watching Coca-Cola Sports In, and it's about that time where we wrap up the show. However, before we go, just one final news. I'm sure for you New South Wales Blues fans, New South Wales Blues have named their team. With that, I'd like to thank you all for your company, and you were watching Coca-Cola Sports Scene. And until the same time, same place next week, have a wonderful evening. Thank you for watching. Good night.